guys, Maverick and Dad's Coaster Madness here, and today we're going to be doing our top 10 list.
Sugar, it's a wonderful thing.
All right,
we were going to do this last year, and we didn't get it done before our coaster trips last year, and his top 10 list got destroyed by going to a new park last year. Actually, I think two parks did it, but... yeah, so we're finally going to get around to it this year before our coaster trip, which is taking place very soon. I'm not going to mention it because he wants to keep it a surprise. But we're going to go through our top 10 list. Plus, we're also going to mention two coasters that didn't make the top 10. I'll go first on the two that didn't make the top 10. Thunderhead almost cracked the top 10.
What's that, 11?
It's there. It doesn't matter if it's 11 or 12. It's there. But, yes, it's 11. Almost cracked the top 10. It was a really good ride last year. Me and him had fun on that. That was a great GCI wooden coaster at Dollywood. And if I did rankings where I would just change them every year up and down based on the rides, it was the best wooden coaster I rode last year. Over Phoenix and Twister, which Phoenix is always a good ride, but it was missing last year. But that's one. And then the other one, I actually replaced. It got replaced in the top 10. Is Twisted Timbers at Kings Dominion. That was an awesome ride, and it was there, but it got replaced last year. And I didn't bump it down. I actually swapped it out because of a better ride that I got last year. So what you got?
So at number 12 was Great Bear at Hershey Park, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun ride overall. I just think that ending was a bit not fun. It was just going around and at the end and it's not that
Yeah,
good.
I mean, Hershey had to sneak that ride in and over the log flume and the super duper looper, the bathroom and the Dippin' Dot stand. So kind of, I get what you're saying, but yeah, that's a good ride, and that was only your second inverted coaster. That you have gotten to ride. You'll get two more on our trip.
I've gotten
now.
3.
I'm talking about the B&M inverts.
Okay.
Yes, Freedom Flyer. You got Freedom Flyer.
Okay, number 11 is Iron Gwazi.
Oh God. Oh God. Please go easy on them in the comments. Please go easy on them. It's really bad when Air Grover is going to be like 4. So when you get in there and Air Grover's 4, then please go easy on them. Oh my God! Why is Iron Gwazi out of your top 10?
I just have lost touch with it, so I can't really remember how great it was. So I just remember it as being just slightly better than Apollo's Chariot, which is number 13, but that doesn't really count. So I'm putting it in 11.
Oh my God!
Whew.
It's young. His memory's not strong yet.
I'm too. So. I've forgotten.
We rode that 2 years ago, 2022, I believe. We rode that.
I'm sure it would be like number 7 or something. But if I had rid it in like the past year, but all right, it's time to get to a top 10. You do it first.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with my number 10 coaster. And it is one of the most intense coasters in the world. It is now Project 305 at Kings Dominion. I love that ride.
No way.
It is, fully will admit that it is a tough ride to marathon. But it is a super intense ride. And yeah, I wish they'd take that drop into an overbank turn and then bring it back right into the course. And that would make it a perfect ride. But that is a great ride, and yeah, it's Maverick's big daddy with the transitions back and forth. So that's my number 10 ride. What's your number 10?
Wild Eagle from Dollywood.
Mm-hmm. Look, I ain't gonna say nothing because Wild Eagle. Everybody said that was Mild Eagle, and that thing was actually pretty forceful. So, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was like the only good ride at Dollywood. Not only good ride, but the only impactful and forceful ride. Oh, I am the dark. I don't know.
I will say that's his first wing coaster, and it does pull some G-forces on that ride. And we got to ride it several times. It didn't have any line when we were there.
Yeah, it was extremely like forceful and impactful, and really good overall. I can't remember if it had a loop or not, but even
Oh,
if
yeah.
it, but yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah, it was a fun ride. Not top 10 for me, but it was a fun ride.
Epic wing coaster.
All right, so we are going to go to the only defunct coaster in my top 10. And Tori is so upset because she was in line for this ride and didn't get to ride it shut down
Oh,
pretty
I
much
know
the
what
last
this is.
day it was ever open, and that is Volcano the Blast Coaster at King's Dominion. There's 2 Intamins in a row in my top 10. This ride was awesome. I got to ride it the first year when it was only running 8 seats instead of the 16. The launch was great. I never got a rollback, but I wanted a rollback to where we could get a launch from a standstill. Super smooth. The heart lines were amazing. No head banging. That was truly a one of a kind ride. And you ride the impulse coasters from Intamin, and they're good, and they'll give you sort of the feeling that you'll get, but it's just a straight line. The launch is good, but yeah, Volcano was awesome, and it's sad to see that gone. I've been looking forward to the wing coaster going in its place.
How have we been recording for 6 minutes already?
I don't
Okay,
know.
time for my number 9, which is Alpengeist from Busch Gardens, Williamsburg.
Nice.
Yeah.
We just knocked that out again yesterday.
This used to be better than what's right above it, but I think but that Cobra roll hurts me inside every time I ride it. Every single time.
Yeah, I love the Cobra Roll. I agree Montu is a better inverted coaster, but the Batwing is not as intense to me as the Cobra Roll. I've ridden the Batwing in the front and the back on a warm day with a loaded train, and I'll still take the Cobra Roll, but I'm a sucker for Cobra Rolls. But I understand it pulls some serious G's. Like, my shoulder was killing me yesterday trying to hold the GoPro up when we went through the Cobra Roll because the G-forces are ridiculous. Anybody who's ever tried to GoPro record with their arm, no, it's killer. But I don't get any head banging, but I've been riding coasters for 30-some years. Maverick over here, what are you doing to your head?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm just bored.
Yeah. But yeah, I get what you're saying. And he's ridden it, and when he doesn't have bang his head, he talks about it a lot higher. But when he gets a little head banging, he knocks it down on his list. So I get what you're saying. So, all right, number 8, first B&M on the list, and this is we'll find out if Sarah's right about which one is the best B&M hypercoaster. But right now, number 8, Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. This ride would be higher if the trim brakes didn't kill it. The first half is awesome. That 5-second floater hill, you can ride that all day long. That's what I love about Apollo's at Busch Gardens. You can ride that all day long. You don't even have to get off the ride. Just get a cheeseburger tossed to you, eat it up the hill. Awesome ride. So that's my number 8. What's your number 8?
Pantheon from also Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. This ride, it was number 1 up until Hershey Park, and then it dropped to number 6. But the fact that it's only number 8 now shows how much you can keep its grasp just from superior rides.
I gotcha. That was like Apollo's was his first big boy coaster, and then, well, no, I take it back. It was the first big boy coaster at Busch Gardens, and Pantheon was next. There's on the video. You can, or in the channel, you can.
You uploaded the Pantheon video first.
But yeah, when he got off the first time, he was blown away by that. So yeah, I get it. I don't know how you got it so low, but I also understand what you like, and I get what you're saying. So what are we at? Number 7 now?
Yep, 7.
7 is Maverick at Cedar Point, not Maverick sitting next to me. This one,
I knew you loved me.
this is the headache. That one is smooth. I can't wait to get him back there so we can get him on the ride. Get up here.
And also like 10 other coasters that are like mid, probably, besides Millennium.
Maverick, awesome ride. The launches are great. The airtime is sick, and it pops in every seat on that train because they're so small. But The transitions are a lot less painful than the transitions on Project 305. So that's my number 7 coaster. What's your number 7?
Griffin from Busch Gardens, Williamsburg.
Nice. Got that one yesterday too.
Yeah, this ride was not very high before. Or before Hershey Park, this ride, I couldn't even ride it. But now, I am ultimate. And now I can ride it. But before, it was like number 10, 15. Now it's number 7. It's greatly improved on me. Now that I've went in the back and the front multiple times, the front drop, it's extremely it gives me a lot of fear, and that's really good. And the back's extremely forceful, even more forceful than Wild Eagle, like I said before. And this ride truly feels like a Wild Eagle. So yeah, that's my number 7. What is your number 6?
First off, Griffin, smoothest over-the-shoulder restraint coaster I've ever been on. That thing is awesome. All right, so number 6. I actually thought about flipping these around, but I'm going to stick with it. Number 6 is Phoenix at Knoebels, which was your first big boy coaster, because you can ride it at 40 inches, and I actually had to hold him in because that ride packs some amazing airtime. And up until last year, it has delivered every year. Last year, it just seemed to be off. But first drop could be better. Then it just gets better, though, each time it turns around and heads back. And that last bit of airtime is that airtime buffet. That is awesome. So that's my number 6, is there, Phoenix at Knoebels.
Now, these are where my coasters start to get really, really fun. And they're almost always smooth and enjoyable. Number 6,
Air Grover.
Number 6, Tom Bailey from King's Dominion.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because you and Tori got flips on that ride. I didn't get anything. That was it. It was like a monorail. Y'all were over there up over your heads. Yeah, his big sister wants to get to Magic Mountain to ride X2, and so she was really looking forward to Bailey because of the flips on it, and they got a great ride. I didn't get anything on it.
Okay, so the reason why this is so epic is because it's so smooth, so crazy. Yeah, it feels scary, but it also feels exciting, and I think the excitement overpowers the fear in this ride. And there's a lot of rides, and I think that a lot of excitement just isn't delivered. But even though I have a ton of excitement for this ride, all of it's delivered plus more. And the only reason I don't think that this is higher is because there's practically zero airtime. But
Yeah.
I think airtime's always better than just delivered excitement.
I mean, he's not wrong.
And the other rides deliver the same excitement as well. So yeah, that's number 6. But you guys are going to get extremely controversial on my number 5.
All right, I'll go with number 5, and this was the one that got replaced in my list, where Twisted Timbers was number 5, but an RMC bumped it out of the number 5 spot, and I moved it down to where I would have had it. So this would be Wildcats Revenge at Hershey Park. We did the Coaster Crew event last year, and we did the ERT on that, and we got a full hour on that ride, and what was it, 13?
I think
13 rides we got on that, because we eventually were able to just get off in the unload and walk straight to the load. We didn't have to go all the way out.
I'm pretty sure.
And that ride, it's tough to put 13 rides on that in a row, but it's also intense, and the new direction of RMC has been really good. Iron Gwazi, I'm sure Zadra's good, and Untamed, and Wildcats Revenge, really good pacing, really good element mixing, and it didn't feel like that it was redundant on that ride, which is going to be another ride on my list that's higher, but there's redundancy on it. So what is your number 5?
Oh, that was your number 5?
Yes.
Well, I have an insane one for number 5. None of y'all will expect it. It's Wildcat Revenge.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
Basically everything what he said, but I also give it bonus points because I met Coaster Studios there.
Oh, yeah.
And I rode with them.
Yeah, did you ride with, was it Sarah? Did you ride with Sarah on that ride? Or Taylor?
I think I rode with Taylor.
Okay. Yeah, they were there, and they were really nice to Maverick. They were really cool. And he calls them his friends. He can't wait to next time he gets to ride with them again. But yeah, that was a great ride. So that was number 5. So number 4. And at this point in time, most of my top 4 a lot of people can put them in their top 4 to number 1 and they'll work. But this one here there's never going to be another coaster built like this one because nobody's ever going to put together this much coaster track and do what they did. But there's redundancy to it. It feels like a smaller RMC just made bigger on the second half, and that's Steel Vengeance. Steel Vengeance, the most relentless coaster out there. Like, Iron Gwazi's relentless. Wildcat's Revenge is relentless. But Steel Vengeance, like, there's a point in it where you're just like, oh my God, I cannot believe we're still going on this ride. But the whole second half literally feels like Twisted Timbers. Like, they just put Twisted Timbers on it, and it's nice, but they could have just done so much more, especially going through the substructure of it. But that's my number 4 coaster, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point.
So, remember at the start of the video? My number 4 is Air Grovers! No, it's not. It's not Air Grovers. It's Twisted Timbers.
Nice.
Twisted Timbers is just an insanely good ride. Like, the airtime, insane. Excitement, insane. And the drop, don't even get me started. It was epic. Insane. I don't care that it had a long line, and it's worth every single second of it. Everything amazing about this. That's my number 4!
So, yeah, I agree. It's the reason why I swapped it out for Wildcat's Revenge is because it's repetitive, but it is amazing. Those first 3 airtime hills are great. The outward bank turnaround next to the station is really good. I feel like it could have done a little more out of the station, and like I said, what they did with it, though, is pretty good. So I get what you're saying. Good coaster. Good choice. Good choice, my little man. So where we're at, number 3? Good Lord. Number 3 again. Okay, so I realized that I just put 3 RMCs in a row, and this one easily could have been my number 1, and I literally would need to go to my top 3 coasters in 1 or 2 days and ride them back to back to really make this. But number 3, Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa.
Wow.
The first time I rode that ride, oh my God, it was amazing. He got to ride it, and the first drop, he kept his arms down. As soon as he hit the bottom, his arms went up, and that was the end of it. And that ride was amazing. We would put like 4 rides on it when we went to the first day and like 2 more the second day.
Yeah.
Great ride. Awesome layout. All the elements hit, every one of them. We rode the front, the back, the middle. It was good all the way around. Throughput could be better. Operations could be better on that ride. But that ride is perfect. It could easily be my number 1. But that's my number 3. What you got?
Hold on. Can I just say something to you?
Okay. All right.
So my number 3, the thing closed.
Yes.
My number 3 is the known Thigh Crush. It's Sky Rush.
I debated on that. I debated on putting that in my top 10. So what'd you like about it?
I really like it's so airtimey and so exciting. It delivers everything that you'd want from a good coaster, and it's just insane, man. Like, there's no way that you can dislike this ride. Okay, maybe Thigh Crush.
Oh, it hurts the legs. There's at one point where I felt like it might snap my femur. Like, yeah, my thighs are really hurting on that ride, but awesome. And I remember in a video with El Toro Ryan, he talked about this weird kink. Coaster Studios talked about it too. I remember everybody's Airtime Thrills, all the coaster people that have ever reviewed this ride talk about this weird kink in that first drop. And if you're in the back, it just ejects you. And yeah, absolutely 100%. It was this ejection from in the back seat. So that ride, yeah, I get you. So that's your number 3 is Sky Rush?
Yeah, can I bear it back real quick?
All right, we're back. He had to take a pause because he knows we keep these freeze-dried and Skittles because we make them here for his mom's shop, and yeah, he was like, "Oh, I gotta get freeze dried Skittles." So Sky Rush, right?
Yep,
Oh,
that was
Thigh
number
Crush,
3.
because it doesn't hurt you as bad as it hurts grown people. All right, here's my number 2, and this one was my number 1 for a long time, and I just recently just demoted it. But I think if I wrote it right again on a good day, might go back to number 1, and that is Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm. That ride was the first time I ever got on what was considered an elite roller coaster by enthusiasts. I remember when it come out, reading about it, reading reviews, everybody talking about the drop. And I remember the first time I went off that brake run, and oh my God, and this was 25 years ago. So it was in the CCI heyday when it was still running great. And I was just giggled. And it's the first time I've ever been truly scared on a roller coaster, because I had some slack in the seatbelt, and that last hill going into the helix, man, you get chucked to the side because it's so flat. I think they added some more banking to it. But, man, that was my number 1 for the longest time, and I was hanging on that memory, and I just slightly moved it. But, yeah, that's my number 2 was Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm.
This is controversial. My number 2 is Fahrenheit at Hershey Park.
There's nothing controversial about that.
Yeah, it's basically just a much better Impulse. Impulse isn't even in my top 20, so
I get that.
oof.
It's kind of the same vertical drop and stuff. No, Fahrenheit was great. It was a good ride. I felt like there was just better rides at Hershey. But yeah, what about it did you like?
There was a loop part. It kind of felt like an insane Wild Mouse. Like a Wild Mouse that was so tired of being called a kiddie coaster that it upgraded to the max level of coasters. And that's Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I guess a non-inverting loop or Norwegian loop or however they call it, that was pretty interesting ride. But yeah, I get it. That was a good ride, good snap to it. Definitely a little milder than Maverick as far as the transitions, but that was a good ride. So that's your number 2?
Mm-hmm. What's your number 1?
Told you Hershey Park, straight up, both feet in the booty of his top 10 list.
They don't know my number 1. They don't know if it's going to be Hershey Park or not.
Well, I'm just saying, it's already seen it, so. All right, so my number 1, and I know people are going to probably give me some crap about it because I was legitimate up until this, and I still think it's legitimate. And if this ride was at Kings Island, it would have won Best Steel Coaster, theming or no theming, and that's Pantheon at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg.
No way!
Yes.
That's your number 1?
That is my number 1 coaster, and I love that ride. That ride is awesome. Every seat, front row, middle row, back row.
Middle row's mid.
You quick cue that ride and go in row 4, you're still getting yeeted out of your seat over the top hat. And it doesn't matter what row you're in, too. On the airtime hill, the backward launch, the forward launch, you're getting yeeted every time. The only thing that ride is missing would be a helix at the end of it. But they had to leave that pasture out there for the sheep, for the cow, the sheep, or whatever it is out there. Great ride, though. Yeah, I get it if you put some theming on it, people would like it better. But under that premise, you're going to tell me that Velocicoaster isn't as good a ride if it didn't have the theming, if it was just sitting in the old Vortex spot? No, that ride would still be good. So, in my opinion, Pantheon's my number 1.
No, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Here comes the laugh track.
That's not... Okay, I'm gonna prove all you guys wrong, by him saying that everything is dominated by Hershey Park. With that being said, my number 1 is Storm Runner from Reese's Park. Reese's Park.
The very first time he rode this, he was like, "That's my number 1." The launch, that accelerator launch, is the most forceful launch he'll ever get on.
And also, there's houses right next to it.
Oh, yeah, at the end of it, the fact there's actually houses and porches that people can be standing on. But tell me everything about it. Tell everybody everything about that ride.
The launch is insane, and I can't wait for King to Caw, because that might dominate. Actually, I need to freaking cut that out.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It might spoil where we're going.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, fine. Yeah. It's basically, it hypes me up for King Dakar.
I mean,
So-
look, every enthusiast is trying to get there at some point. Like, it's not spoiling anybody or any coaster trips in the future or next year or year after next saying, oh, I can't wait to ride King Dakar. Yeah. That was a forceful launch. I remember one time I had my arms up and, God, it snapped my arms back.
This is my number one. You don't talk.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, then I'll have a Skittle. I'll have a Skittle then. Go ahead.
Still have the 6 Skittle.
All right, what you got?
Buster. Okay, so everything from the loops, there's like this kind of like a spinny thing in an area, and I loved it so greatly much. And of course, the places with the house was an awesome part too. Well, and just everything. It was such a long ride. It felt like, even though it was only a minute long, probably. And the only
22 seconds.
It's not 22 seconds. And the only reason that it's not a 10 out of 10 is probably mainly because I lost my VIP badge.
Yeah, his Coaster Crew badge got ripped off on that ride. Yeah, that was a fun ride. That snake dive is literally the Ron Toomer coat hanger inversion thing gone crazy. And then they built it. So, yeah, I get it. So, that's your top 10.
Yep.
So, that's a good top 10. That starts off your list. You know how many coasters you've ridden so far?
Like 80 something.
You're getting up there. You're getting up there. We should get you some more on this next trip. But, yeah, that's our top 10 coaster list. And we're doing that before we do our coaster trip, which is probably going to... I think it's going to put one in my top 10. He's probably going to shuffle his top 10 a lot based off of the ones. But knowing what we've got coming up on the trip, yeah, there's one super elite coaster. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us for a little bit of time. What you got to say?
Can I say a controversial coaster that's not in my top 10 but in my top 20? Number 18 is Scorpion from Busch Gardens.
Hey, look, that's a fun ride, and that thing's held up. It's like 705 years old. So, no, that was a fun ride. And as intense as a Schwarzkopf, and I wish that triple looping would...
Phoenix is 15 for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I wish American triple looping would deliver the same type of smoothness and intensity that Scorpion does, but I don't know what's wrong with that, but everybody who's ridden it says the same thing. Scorpion, good choice though. That's a good choice. It's a good classic ride that Busch Gardens is still taking care of in Tampa and gets it up. It's just running one train as opposed to two, but good ride. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Also, me and Mav would like to thank everybody we have made 100 subscribers. We hit that a couple days ago. And thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out with us and spending a moment. We are super grateful. And that's it. Anything else you want to say?
How many subs do we have now?
I don't know. It's 104, I believe. So, yeah, thank you, everybody, for subscribing to the page and hanging out and leaving comments. I'll try to get back to everybody's comments when we see them.
105 subscribers.
105. Nice. So thank you so much, everybody. Please be safe. Go ride some rides. Enjoy them. And let us know what you think of the top 10. Take care. Peace.